Okay, hi. Didn't seem like it was working. Sorry. A little glitch in the matrix. Okay, so caged. We're going to go over a little bit of a cage, but I'm going to start with by going through a backing track. I'm going to use a bluegrass backing track because it's just the easiest to kind of do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through in the key of G major, which means I'm going to solo out of the Aeolian mode, tying back to a couple of weeks ago video lesson, the E minor. Remember, your modes are just you're starting on a different note other than the key note. So I'm starting on E and playing the E minor. E minor. I'm going to start here, the lowest E on the guitar, for which I can play a scale. That doesn't include open strings. So no. So I'm going to go from E, string 4, the D form, to fret 7, string 5, the C form, to fret 7, string 5, the A, to fret 12 of 6 string, the G form. Try to change that so you can see it better. To the E form, string 6. To the D form, as it repeats. To the C form, this could get very interesting. And one more A form. So I'm going to just do a little jam throughout. And then I'm going to walk you through how I found all that. So jump ahead here. More into the pentatonic. Back to that D. To the C. To one more A. Ooh. It's tough getting up there, especially when you're not warmed up. Okay. So the caged forms, right? So you're going through C, A, G, E, D. Now, because of the key E, I'm starting on a D form. So therefore, I'm spelling caged from D. So D, then C, A, G, E, D, C, and A. Depending on what key you're in, you're going to start on a different form of C, A, G, E, and D. Now, let's just stop there for a second. Why is it called caged? It's where the root note is and the octave note. So if you start with a C, root, octave, 5 and 2. A, open, 5th string and 3rd string, A. G, 6, open, 3rd string and 1. E, 6, open, 1, open, and 4. D, open, 4, and 2nd string. So if I walk through that again, starting same key E, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's see if I can get the angle just right so we can get all the way up there. 4, 2, E's. Gave the low E as a reference. C, A, G, E, D, C again, A one more time. So in the key of E, I can go through D, C, A, G, E, D, C, A. 8 full scale patterns. Now, we know why. We've already done this. You and I haven't done it quite enough. Why? Because if you play in the key of E here, I'm going to pick it up here. Versus up here. you can hear that when I'm at 12th fret, the notes jump out higher, they jump out more. It's more solo kind of lead guitar. When you're down around in this area, it's a little bit more complementary. It falls in with the chords a little bit better. So having the ability to play anywhere is the point. That is point number one of knowing Caged for lead melody playing. I can play anywhere, therefore I can fit in and just kind of be complimentary, or I can come up here and I can soar and sear and all that kind of good shred stuff. I can do wherever I want, cut through much, much stronger. Knowing your root and octave pattern is important, what strings they are. But now I'm going to walk you through how to find them. So starting again in pinky. First finger replaces last finger always, and then C. Third string. And notice, right, because you got to think about an A chord like that, a bar chord A. G. Now, that does not look like a practical chord, does it? No. But we're going to get back to that in a second. E, which is your basic bar chord. So that's part two of Caged. Now I can use chords. The most famous one that uses caged chords that I can think of right off the top of my head. And no, that's not Ice Ice Baby. It is an A form D chord to a D form A chord to a D form G chord, which sounds better than going. Not that that sounds horrible, but now we've got a whole new sort of level to the chords. The G chord, not practical, right? But watch this. Just come from fourth string. Ew. There it is. There's that chord. It's just not utilizing that because, again, it's impractical. So taking your standard E chord, well, now I can play it here, 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 and I'm sure I could find another one if I thought about it. So now I've just played the normal E form, the octave E form, the A form. Oh, I didn't do the G form. And the D form. The only one I didn't do is the C form because the C is also rather impractical. Because you have that goofy bar, right? But instead of doing this, you would just drop that pinky and you do this. And you've heard that a bunch of times. So again, we're utilizing Caged to create chord levels, play scales anywhere, and lastly, in my opinion on the acoustic guitar, to use the capo. I want to play it in the key of, I'm going to play a Hallelujah, standard key C. Doesn't quite sound right. I'm going to keep it in the key of C by putting the capo on at 5 and utilizing G. Now it works better, doesn't it? So I found where to put the capo because I went through C, A, G. Okay, well that means the capo goes there. So Caged, what it does for us and how to do it. All that kind of good stuff. So now you have a way to review it a few times and come in and yell at me, text me and say, I don't understand this part, and we'll go from there. So I hope you're doing something especially fun today on November 4th. Oh, that's like election day or some nonsense. Okay, cool. Have a great week. Thank you.